Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's session. If today's your first time, maybe you stumbled on this somewhere and this is the first time you're viewing this. My name is Jessica and I'm in Nigeria. I'm an online English teacher. My students are foreigners. So if you're here, it means you're also interested in something like this or something similar. Today, we're looking at ESL commandments and how to get students. Friends, yeah. Teaching ESL online is amazing. Trust me, it's amazing. Not just about the pay, because I know that's our first port of call, but not just about the pay, but you get to meet students, you get to meet people from different walks of life, you get to interact with people. I'll tell you one thing I enjoy about this gig. Now, sometimes you might have a rough day. Sometimes you're just gloomy, you're not just cool, maybe, all those not so good days. But you come online and your students come up and the whole mood and atmosphere changes and you just feel good at the end. Talking is therapeutic. So you're teaching them, but you're also, it's like a form of therapy for you. So in summary, this game is amazing. However, however, there are some mistakes we make that makes us, at the end of the day, we draw a conclusion that, I can't do this. This is not for me. And all of that. I know that there are people out there who have gone 4, 5 years, 10 years. In fact, I saw someone person has started since 2015 teaching ESL. And I just started how many years ago? Maybe 2 or 3 years ago. But this person has been on since 2015. That's about 12 years ago. Or 2015, that's, yeah, 10 years ago, 10 years to be precise. But I've noticed some things and I want to share with you so that you can be on guard and be at alert. And so you'll be able to balance yourself in this field of work, teaching, discipline, experience. So here's a commandment. There are many that I have come up with that I know about, but because of time, I just came up with these 5. Number 1, every student is peculiar, different, and special. Now, you could get one student. We're going to talk about how to get students. You could get one student, personal student, and that student could link you up with many other students, with other students. You would not say because of the relationship we have with this student, with the first person, you treat the others maybe less important than this other person. No, 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 no. Every student, adult or kids, they're special, they're different, and you have to treat them as that. You know why this is number 1? Because they know how you carry them. Let me put it in that way. They know how you value them. They know. If your student is interested in sports, talk about sports. Go and watch sports. Go and watch Olympics. If your student is interested in cooking, get video lessons on cooking and share. It will make the class interesting and interactive. Sometimes they come and they're sad. I have a student who lives in Ukraine, and you know what's going on in Ukraine at the moment. They live under the ground. So sometimes she tells me, when I ask, how was your weekend? She would say, we had an attack and this and that. So the way she comes to class, but I try to lighten her mood. And to be honest, she comes regularly. Every student is peculiar, different, and special. In the last video, remember I said I have a student who she's never prompt. She's never prompt. And this student, when we come to class, all we talk about is, I have a toddler. She has a toddler as well. Do you know all we talk about is our toddlers? I'm serious. And at the end of the lesson, I just sent her the link. Okay, this was what I prepared for you today. Go through it and all of that. That's all we do. So when she's talking, I will not say, okay, that is not the lesson for today. No, no, no. She needs someone to listen to her. Besides, I was sharing with my husband last night. Most of the time, they don't have anyone that speaks English with them. They don't have anyone they speak English to. So you're the only one. So whatever it is they want to talk about in English, allow them. What I do for most of them is when they start to talk like that, I make sure the way I'm sharing my screen like this, I share my screen, and what is on the screen is the lesson I prepared for that day. So they know that I came prepared. Do you understand? And sometimes I try to maybe divert the discussion to the lesson. If I see that they're more interested in what they're talking about, have your way. The one who pays the piper dictates the tune, isn't it? So every student is peculiar, different, and special. It was just 2 weeks ago, or 2 days ago. Today is Thursday. On Tuesday, I have this kid I teach in China. Then he likes to build guns. I don't have the picture and I don't want to take our time. The gun he built, the last one he built, he showed me in class. Trust me, it was this big. Yes. And every time he comes, Danny, how did you spend the day? Teacher, I built a gun for my brother. And we talk, why do you like guns? So he will show you his gun. You would say, gun is dangerous. Don't. I know. That is what interests him. So you have to get acclimatized to their interests. I hope I've made myself clear. You know why? Because if you don't, it means you're not interested. The lessons will be boring. They would not really like you. If your student is a realtor, get materials on real estate. If your student is a baker, an accountant, get materials on that. Try to balance it. Number two, do not keep your money with your clients. You know, like I said, we're moving to where we will talk about how to get your personal students and how to get, there are different types of students. Do not keep your money with your clients. Look, when I started, in fact, I started off getting with the mindset of getting personal students more than the intermediary where someone is in between getting students from me and all of that. No. So I started off with that mindset. It is maybe along the line that I now started working with third party, people who will get students for me. Direct students, when you start with negotiation, right? I started off, my own negotiation was you pay every fortnight. So we have lessons twice in a week. And for example, I charge maybe $5 or I charge $10 as the case may be. So at the end of 2 weeks, you know, the student studies twice. So at the end of 2 weeks, maybe the money is just maybe $20 or $30. Please collect your money. Collect your money. Do you know why? Well, for me, I've only had, in fact, I would share my experience because experience is the best teacher. I was working in the bank when I started this particular gig in Egypt. Now, I started in, I think, according to what they said, then I was naive. I did not have anyone to tell me. They said they pay at the end of the month. I said, okay. And you know, most of the time, another thing is make sure you make findings about your students, about your school and all, so that if push comes to shove, if something goes wrong, let me check my time. Oh, we have to. Something goes wrong, you know how to maybe call them out, or you just know how to, you know, they're there, you're here. That's the thing about this job. They're there, you're here. And it's only God that is your Olubeja. As I said, don't go into this if you're not, well, me, I'm a Christian, so I pray. God is my Olubeja there. Do you understand? So I did it the first month. I was working in the bank. Jesus, it was so strenuous. It was the most tiring job I've ever done. The most tiring gig I ever did. When it was time to teach, I would go to a secluded place, a quiet place. It was stressful. At the end of the first month, they gave me excuse that, oh, in Egypt, there was no means to make payment through PayPal because I receive payment from all my clients through PayPal. Yeah, that's another thing. I receive through PayPal. If you need help with that, don't worry, reach out to me. Don't worry, don't worry. I'm a Christian, I will do you well. Do you understand? I received through PayPal. I had a student who paid directly into my account. I think there's a way they can run that as well. So they just did the equivalent of dollar and all of that. You care, right? Okay. But this said, we agreed through PayPal. So they were supposed to pay me through PayPal at the end of the month. I started hearing stories that touch. And we can't do this, we can't do that. What I was supposed to do was to halt it. Yes, you're desperate to get gigs, but it's better not to have gigs than to work and not get paid. Trust me, you would be more sorrowful, you'll be more discouraged. So it's better not to have gigs than to work and not get paid. First month, I heard stories. Don't worry, we're working on it. I continue to teach. Stressful and strenuous, buying data, sweating. Second month, because they told me they were working on it. Every week they would update me, we're working on it. Send your paper details. They're working on it, they're working on it. Till today, I think I worked for them 2 months and 2 weeks, and I did not get paid. In fact, the money I have with them is over $200, close to $300 by our calculation. That was the first major gig I got. I did not have anyone to tell me. What do you do? After that, no one taught me. Every client I met, I told them. There was one I did. She owns a school in the US. She's not, she's from Russia or so, but she stays in the US. She owns a school in the US. She just contracted me to be her admin. I would send links to the groups, remind the students of the lessons and all sorts of this. So she was paying me just $3 per hour. I was not teaching. Yeah, for lessons, sometimes I would teach and I'll make material. So she was just paying me $3 per hour. So in a day, I would just do that administrative work for just 3 hours. So that was like 9 hours, $9. Or 2 hours, 30 minutes. That was like $9 or so in a day. And I was doing it Monday to Friday, like 5 days in a week. At the end of 2 weeks, I told her I collect my money fortnightly. Fortnightly. You see, except for platforms like Preply, where immediately after the students take their lessons, they have to pay. Except for platforms like that, when it's direct students, don't keep your money with them. Don't. If the agreement is fortnight, make sure it's fortnight you get your money. When it's extending, begin to withdraw. Begin to withdraw. I have someone who works for someone for 6 months. She's a Nigerian and she hasn't gotten her pay. I have another person who worked for 3 months. He hasn't gotten his pay. Do not keep your money with your clients. When you start with, I have students who pay me after every lesson, $9 after a lesson. Just send it. Yeah, there is always PayPal deductions and all of that. Don't just send my money. It suits me than for it to be with you. You understand? Especially when you're just starting. But if, for example, there's a gig I currently have. We started off after 2 weeks. Now she pays monthly. She's on Facebook, live and direct. So if anything goes wrong, I know how to call her out. Every day or every week, she uploads pictures. She does so much. So I know how to call her out. She has the school in Vietnam. So if anything goes wrong, I know how to call her out. So that one, my mind is at rest. Suffice to say that I always pray. Or you do your own. Don't leave your money with your client, especially those direct students. But for Preply, immediately after the lesson, they credit you. Do you understand? Some of them can act funny. Some of them can act funny. Even third party, those ones that would help you get students. Some of them, the students would have paid them, but they will not pay you. Just make sure, especially when you get them through Facebook, just make sure they have a solid base on Facebook such that you can call them out and embarrass them. Well, I don't know if you will get your money with that, but now if you're going full-time, number 3, if you're going full-time, have more than 1 gig. Friends, have more than 1 gig. I did a gig in, I started my career in ESL 2022, the last quarter of 2022. That was when I started to hustle. Then I started getting, like every other job, it is not when you start to apply, it's not when you start to advertise on Facebook that you immediately get. I think I started in September, green lights now started to pop up. What's it called? October, November, December. Yeah, green lights started to pop up. I did a gig in 2023. 2023. The lady reached out to me on Facebook. Facebook is my own marketplace. We're going to talk about that later. She reached out to me on Facebook and said, I saw your advert, blah, 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 do this and do that, do this and do that. Yeah. Now the gig was I should just do speaking for her students who were training for IELTS. They're teenagers. And she told me we started 2023, July. We started July 2023. She told me they were to write the exam August 2024. Are you following me? So I started. Okomi Bale. That gig was amazing. I don't tell you. It was amazing. I'm not lazy. So I was to make materials, IELTS materials, speaking materials, part 1, part 2, part 3. It was not a problem because the pay was just that was the only thing I even needed. That was the only gig I needed because it was good. It was good. So like I told you, she said they're writing the exam August 2024. So my calculation was, so until August, though, I have this gig, right? And I've always had personal students. I've always had personal students. God has been faithful. Once one leaves, he brings another one. I always had personal student. But she was my major gig. We did Happy New Year in 2024. It was good. We're still there. January, February, it was still there. By February, I started to notice some funny things. One of the things I noticed was the classes dropped, like one dropped. And I did not know. I think I asked and she said maybe the students were busy or something. She just said something. Ladies and gentlemen, March 2028, March 2024, 28th of March, she just sent me a chat. Jess, we would like to switch over to physical classes. So we can't continue with you again. Jesus. You know, like when you put pin and you in a balloon. To compensate, she sent me $40 to compensate for the sudden. Jesus. I was deflated. I was, God. You have an idea of how I felt anyway. So let me quickly move on. Time. But what saved me was I still had that. Now imagine if that was the only gig I had. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Have more than one. Have more than one. Pray to God. He will give you. He will give you. And just be faithful with God. He will give you. But have more than one. What saved me then was she was not the only one I had. And between March and apparently she was not the only one. So the ones I had could still stand in pending when I had a replacement for her. Because for every gig I have, when one leaves, I'll always try to get a replacement. That is me. I always try to get a replacement because I'm in it full time. Okay, let me say this. I'm in it full time. So when one leaves, I always try to get a replacement to have more than one gig so that when one, the point is they might not give you a notice. Do you understand? They might not give you a notice. And that's it. And there's nothing like pension. You know, there's nothing like pension. There's nothing like, okay, you've been, no, except maybe your savings, maybe you now have to fall back on your savings. Quickly, how do you negotiate your pay with a personal student? Well, what I did, it may be wrong, it may not work for you, but what I did is I always give a range. For example, I tell them between maybe $7 and $10. I charge between $7 and $10. It's how I have been doing it, and it's what has worked for me. Some of them, when they really want it, anyone who does not stay back because you said between 7 and the person is not just serious, because I don't know how telling you between $7 and $10 will put you off. I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong about it. I'm open to corrections, to be honest. So most of them will say, okay, can I pay 7 or can I pay 8 or can I pay, since it's between 7 and 10. So I have 7, 8, 9, 10. You get, so that's how I negotiate. Do you understand? No matter how cordial you get, they're still your clients. Like that lady, she did me dirty. We would talk, we would chat, she would tell me I'm in this, I'm in that, I'm traveling to this place, I'm traveling to that place. Me, I just I don't get friends. So no matter how cordial you get, they're still your clients. They're still your clients, and treat them as that. No matter how you're involved with their personal lives, or they get involved with yours, they're still, and you know, clients, it's business. It's business. Today, they can tell you, I need to pen this, I need to pen our lessons because I have some things to do and all of that. And that's the end. That's the end. So I'm not saying you should be hostile. No. Through your students, God can make a way for you in their countries and all of that. They can make things easy for you, truly. But they're still your client. Treat them as that. So I hope this is clear. If you have any question on this, I'm running late. I'm having a class any moment from now. So every student is peculiar. They're special, whether they're children, teenagers, or adults. Treat them as that. Try to come down to their level and interact with them. Make them like you. Make sure when they come to class, they're laughing, they're talking. Make sure they're talking. Do you understand? Make sure it's fun. Yes, it is a classroom, but when they're talking and all, in fact, when my students talk, it means they like me. I like that. I like when they are talking more than I am. It means, yeah, it means I think don't keep your money with your clients and all. So lastly, how then do you get students? Google search. Google search is you go on Google and then you type in um, online English schools or online ESL schools in your desired country, Germany, France, Dubai, UAE, Saudi Arabia, Vietnam. Just do Google search. Afterwards, you remember you must prepare your introductory video, your certificate. Your TEFL certificate is super important. That's the least they expect from us. It's the least. So try and prepare that as well. And then you forward it to them. Have I gotten a gig through that? I really don't know. There was a gig I got for a school in Madrid. I'm not teaching with them now, but we keep in touch. I don't know, maybe that was how I got, because that was how I got across, or that was how they got across to me. I don't know, but I did that. You can also check YouTube search. Go on YouTube, online ESL schools, search it. Now you need to narrow your search to non-native speakers, because these guys are still discriminating. They still feel we know Sabi English. We know Sabi English, even with pure and clear accent. We know Sabi English because of our skin color. So you still have to narrow your search to non-native speakers. Your online ESL schools hiring non-native speakers. And lastly, Facebook group. This is where I will dwell more. Facebook groups. I could show you my Facebook page, my Facebook account. This is my Facebook. It's looking funny, but please don't worry. Internet is funny. Can you see this? This is Taiwan English teachers, but we're looking for this. That is what my Facebook is all about now. That is what my Facebook is all about. Look, most of the people you may know are foreigners because my Facebook is saturated with them. What am I trying to say? Go on Facebook and join groups. Look at the groups I'm in on Facebook. ESL Teacher, this. Let me see if I can scroll down. My groups, let me see if this will come up. My internet is weak, please bear with me. ESL groups, those are the groups that my Facebook is saturated with. So in summary, join groups. Join groups. I love Vietnam. Vietnamese people, I love them because their gigs are always sweet. There are some that are funny anyway, but their gigs are always sweet. Although at some point your schedule might be filled because it's about the same time they study, but their gigs are always sweet. And again, I don't know what they're trying to learn, but they are the ones that are really hiring in Vietnam. They are the ones really hiring. Now, recall I said what spurred me to come online and do this, come live and do this was because I had some gigs and I had no one to share it with. It was Vietnam. It was Vietnam. It was a juicy gig and I had no one to share it with. So guys, friends, please join groups. Vietnam might not be your own preference. I'm not narrowing it down to Vietnam. No. Join groups on Facebook and advertise yourself. Let me give you an instance of what my advert looks like. Let me quickly search. Jesus, I'm running late. I have a class at 11:30. And my internet is fast. Please stick with me. Vietnam. Why is it this way? Let me come back to my page. Sorry, my account rather. I keep saying page. So join groups. Oh, sorry. Sorry, I couldn't let this in because it's a recorded session and I'm running late. So sorry. Okay, so look, can you see? I'm trying to search. Can you see Nigerian teachers, Ho Chi Minh English teaching job, English teachers in Madrid, TEFL teachers in Spain, Insignati de Inglés, Vietnamese ESL teachers, Barcelona TEFL teachers. Those are the groups that I belong to. So please join groups. Please join groups on Facebook. And when you do, then you advertise yourself. Let me see if I can get my advert on this group, for example. On my, using my phone, it is easier for me, but here now it might be looking funny. So here, job opportunity, full-time native, blah, 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 and all. Work condition 7, and this is a physical class. Let me see, look for another one. Hiring foreign teacher, looking for a native teacher. Look, even if they say they're looking for native teachers, in this Vietnam, apply. You get apply. Apply. So join groups, and on groups you advertise yourself. You can advertise with pictures of yourself. You can just take a picture like with a classroom background, you get, and advertise. My name is, I have my qualification, what you can teach. I can teach this and I can teach that. Please contact me, put your WhatsApp number on your email. You would get feedback. It might not be immediate, but you would definitely get. You would definitely get feedbacks. You will definitely get feedbacks. Clear? Google search, YouTube search, and Facebook groups. I'm running out of time, so I'd have to stop here. I think I will come back to this. I would come back to this and I will still just record like this and I'll send to the group, sharing my experience. I hope you learned. Thank you for watching. If you have questions, this is, oh, a disclaimer, not all Facebook adverts are legit. First, I would explain this further. So if you have any inquiries, please just feel free. Feel free. Send me a WhatsApp message or an email. It's all good. See you soon. Have an amazing time. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.